Hey Waffle Gang, I do hope you're well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some more relationship stories, and if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting that like, subscribe, maybe that notification bell too. It would be absolutely cheeky of you. Let's crack on with today's first story. Much love, guys. Now, today's first story comes from the Red Haiku, who says, I called out a girl who used to bully me at my friend's baby shower, and I don't regret it. And obviously from the title, I'm sure you get that it does involve bullying, so if you do want to skip the story, feel free to do so. Timestamps are in the description below. I live in the US. It's super early in the morning right now, but I've been awake for a while thinking about yesterday. I have 6 girls I can confidently say are my best friends. Our friendships span 10 to 17 years. I've always been proud of these close relationships and know they are rare. My friends have seen me go through a lot in my life. I never would want to harm any of them or jeopardize any of our friendships. That said, one of them had a baby shower yesterday. This friend is good friends with a girl I used to work with. This girl, along with 2 other girls I worked with 10 years ago, regularly bullied me, put me down and called me names. We worked at this college bar and we received certain shifts and promotions based on our sales. I was in nursing school at the time and bartending provided me with good income for very little hours. I'd study drink recipes in my free time, so I'd have an advantage and would be the only bartender who could make certain drinks. I'd always have great sales and loyal regulars. Well, this girl and her 2 other friends, my co-workers, did not like me. This is the only reason I can really think of as to why they went out their way to be cruel. My manager also had a crush on me. They were pretty mean in general, to be honest. Looking back, having my boss pit us against each other with our sales didn't create the healthiest environment. Well, these 3 co-workers had a nickname for me. It was my first name with Tard at the end. They had this inside joke between the 3 of them that I was airheaded and slurword. The main girl, who was the cruelest, would tell me all the time, "Wow, you're so pretty. I'll tell her thank you." A co-worker of mine later told me she would say this and mean I was pretty dumb. Her and the other 2 girls would laugh about it behind my back. I also did a swimsuit photo shoot for a radio station because I trained for a beauty pageant and won a Best in Swimsuit award. I was really proud of that because I trained and ate very healthy for about a year to earn that. They were posting about it online and on social media how pathetic it was that I thought I was attractive enough to model. Another good friend of mine started working there and got really drunk and started crying one night. This bully pulls out her phone, starts filming her and laughs. I got so mad I slapped her phone out of her hand. She screamed at me that I could have broken her phone. These are just highlights of multiple things she did. I worked at this job 2 years and quit when I moved to finish my training for nursing school. With all of this, I regret so much not standing up for myself. I just pretended like I didn't know what they were saying about me or that I didn't get their jokes. I'd just smile and tell them thank you. I'd be overly nice. It's not because at 21 I had tact, although this was probably a method that drove them nuts. I didn't do anything because I was a doormat. I wasn't new to bullying, and I was always afraid to stand up for myself. I did cry quite a bit after shift for those 2 years. After I quit, my now very good friend, the one having the baby shower, started working there. That's how we met and became friends. But she also befriended this co-worker who was my main bully from work. She knows I have issues with her, but I've never detailed exactly what she said and done to me. Plus, my friend is the type of girl who always sees the good in everyone. That's why she's so loved. Fast forward to present day, 30-year-old me. I saw my bully at my friend's wedding and now baby shower, twice in 10 years. She loves my friend so much that she wants me to like her, because I'm not going anywhere. She's always overly nice every time I'm around. She knows she effed up. I'm cordial, but I don't go out of my way to be nice to her. She's mentioned a few times we should hang out. It pees me off that she'd even suggest that. I'm no longer a doormat. I speak my mind a lot, and it's because of people like her from my past. I also do trauma surgeries and am working on my doctorate of nursing. I work in a field where you have to speak up and be confident. I don't let anyone screw with me. Finally, I'll tell you about yesterday. I'm at the baby shower with my other best friends. They do not like my bully either. It's so awkward being around her, but other than my baby shower friend, she has no friends. We are kind to her, but none of us like her. It's time for pictures. My other friends call me over and call me my nickname. As I walk over, my bully says, "Isn't that just part of your nickname?" I freeze, and I can just feel this anger rising inside me. I quickly reply, "Hopefully you mean a nice nickname." My bully knows she effed up. She gets nervous and says, "Well, why wouldn't it be nice?" "Well, I'm just thinking of the nickname you used to call me when we bartended together. I have no other nicknames." You could have cut the tension with a knife. She gets defensive and says she doesn't know what I'm talking about. I cut her off and tell her, "Let's discuss this at a different time and place." She goes over to the table, sits down and cries. Some of the girls at the shower go to comfort her as she repeats, "I don't know what she means. What could she mean? She's upset about something I did 10 years ago." She effing knows. I'm not going to comfort her and give in to her bullcrap manipulation. Instead of talking to me like an adult and apologizing, she just sucks up to me. That doesn't erase everything. I thanked my friend and left. I didn't mean to make her baby shower awkward. I just could not say something. I got in the car, and as I drove away, I felt this weird weight lifted off my shoulders. My other friend called me and said my bully just sat there crying to everyone at the shower after I left. She said she was annoyed at how she was playing the victim and told her in front of everyone she wasn't nice to me. If it bothered her, she should talk to me. I doubt she will, but who cares? Maybe I'll call my friend when she's up and apologize for making her shower awkward and tell her the truth about everything. Now to me, you didn't make this situation awkward, she did. You said let's discuss this at a different time and place, and then she went ahead and drew attention to herself by crying and sitting down and getting everyone to gather around her, and you left, which was the correct thing to do. And although I don't think you got really anything to apologize for, I think if I was in your position, I'd just get in contact with a friend and, say sorry about the situation. I didn't really want it to come to that, and I did say to her, let's discuss this at a different time and place, and then she went and done that and drew all this attention to herself. I didn't mean to make the situation awkward. Because that is your friend and that is their baby shower. But these process 7331 says she tried to use the Darvo method that abusive people use. She's a grown-ass woman and should have learned by now how to regulate her feelings and be able to reflect at her past actions. AKA, she should have controlled her emotions like you did, to not be the center of attention at your friend's party and approached you afterwards privately. I hope he responds and says, "Yeah, she knows. I truly think she doesn't know the extent. I went to counseling for it a few years after, and some similar bullying from my past. It kind of all mixes together after a while. But she did look genuinely shocked. So either she was referencing something else or just completely forgot she ever called me names. She was pretty mean in general, but how she was trying to get sympathy was manipulative." Orange Cat says you absolutely 100% did not do anything wrong. I think that an apology to your friend is a very good idea just to make sure your friend is okay. I also think that telling her in a matter-of-fact type of way without necessarily bad-mouthing the bully is the best way to maturely help your friend see your side. From the beginning, when you first started describing how this girl would bully, my first thought was that she is jealous of you. You're obviously smart and attractive and a very kind person. She is none of those things, so she did the only thing she knew to do, and that is to put you down in front of others to make herself feel better. Talk to your friend. It sounds like you all have an amazing friendship, and I'm sure she will listen to your side. Please give us an update. Nihilistic Thrill says, don't blame you holding on to that kind of harassment, especially if that person has chances to apologize and chooses to instead play the victim. Many of us were worse versions of ourselves in our youth, and it isn't totally fair to be held to those standards years later. But what is even less fair is acting as if those people we hurt don't have a right to feel hurt, no matter our reasoning or justifications. She chose to hurt you with offensive names and suffered no real consequences for it. If she can't own her own negative past and apologize for that worst version of herself, it's not on you to magically get over it either. You don't seem to have been anywhere close to out of line. Maybe just show your friend this post and the support I'm sure is coming, because nobody likes this kind of emotional manipulation to excuse outright abuse. And one more comment from Great Pumpkin who says, has she ever once given you a sincere apology, or heck, even an insincere one? Or does she just try to pretend none of it ever happened? Crazy how she's upset at you for holding on to something that happened 10 years ago when she never took care of business so that you could put it down. We have the opportunity to grow into new people as we age, and most of us do. But a sign of true growth is when you can stare your old mistakes in the eye and say, I'm sorry that it took me this long to learn how damaging I was capable of being, and how much suffering I wrongfully caused. I'm sorry that I hurt you. I hope you give me the opportunity to show you that I'm not the same person I used to be. But if I inflicted too much harm, I understand that sometimes there are no second chances." An OP responds to that and says she's never even said anything. "I saw her the first time at my friend's wedding 6 years after the fact. Second time was Saturday at the baby shower. She was so overly nice, it just set alarms off in my mind and made me feel uncomfortable. I think she's hoping if she's super nice, I'll just forget about it." So OP does update the post and says, "Sorry it took so long for this update. I needed to talk to my friend and I wanted to make sure we sat down in person. I have bolded what happened when we talked below, if you'd like to just skip right to it. There are a few comments I want to address in this update. I received a lot of support over what happened. In fact, I'd say about 95 to 99% were supportive of how I handled the situation. I appreciate this, but I want to make it known that while I don't regret standing up to my bully, I do regret the setting where it happened. Something I want you to all realize is I never planned to ever confront my bully. She is a miserable person. She has little to no friends, and I can tell she just isn't really happy with her life. Me laying it all out about how terrible she was to me and so many people would just be beating down someone who is already low. It wouldn't have had the desired effect and would have just been cruel on my part, even if the thought had crossed my mind in the past. The only reason I said something was because of her comment at this baby shower. I will never allow her to ever put me down or bully me again. Ever. No matter where we are. I did my very best to be tactful. Second, there was a few comments saying that I need therapy, and it was sad that this still bothers me. There is no timeline someone should have to suddenly be okay from being mistreated or trauma, especially if the person pretends they never hurt you or nothing happened. It is never up to the person causing you discomfort to decide when you should be okay and when you should forgive them. This is a common tactic gaslighters use to guilt you into brushing off what they did. Do not fall for that crap. I've been in therapy specifically for this girl years ago. I've recently been doing trauma therapy the past few years for quite a lot of things from my past and childhood. I was bullied badly in my teen years by a few of my classmates because I had a hunchback. This was fixed through surgery when I got older. A lot of people who know me now have no clue I had a deformity, but it was bad and my childhood was not a happy one. Bullying was a common theme in my past, and unfortunately, these can connect and compound. Over time, similar situations or small things can seem/feel worse than they actually are because they remind you of past events. The book, The Body Keeps the Score, is a great book to read to understand how the mind and body connect with uncomfortable memories and events. I'm an adult. I'm not a scared and weak little girl anymore. I'm not a victim anymore because I've chosen never to be a victim again. Bullying doesn't disappear when you're an adult. You can only change how you interact/react to those people and situations. I'm thankful every day I have a healthy, normal body and I don't tolerate any form of bullying to myself or others. The trauma therapy I've been doing helped tremendously. EMDR, highly recommended. I remember a lot of painful experiences from my past, but because of therapy, I no longer have the painful feeling associated with the memory. EMDR helps you process what happened. What I do still feel is anger. I am very angry I let people talk to me how they did or mistreat me because it made them feel good. I made the choice back then not to speak up. What happened after I talked to my friend? I met with my trauma therapist the day before I met up with my friend. We have scheduled sessions once every 2 weeks. I told her what happened at the baby shower and my mixed feelings about everything. I told my therapist I had been going back and forth about reaching out to my bully to talk to her about everything. My therapist asked, "So what is your goal when you talk to her? What are you hoping to gain out of that interaction?" Good point. Me reaching out, sitting down with her and telling her that she was cruel to me in the past, would that have the outcome I was hoping for? There's no way it would. My bully would never respond well to that. My therapist also pointed out that I wasn't out of line when I responded to her comment. I told my bully we could discuss it elsewhere. It was my bully's choice to go around to everyone at the baby shower and cry to all these strangers. If she was upset, she had the choice to go somewhere alone and deal with her emotions, but she chose to make it bigger and tell everyone what happened. When I responded to my bully's comment, there are only 5 people around us. 5 minutes after that, my bully had told everyone at the shower, 25 to 30-ish people, who weren't present when I said what I said. These were all points I had not considered. I met with my friend the following day at a coffee shop. She was very kind and greeted me with a hug. She was at a resort the last week with her husband relaxing. I got right to the point. I told her that I was sorry I made things awkward at her baby shower. It was not my intention. I'd been thinking about it all week, and I told her I hoped I hadn't ruined it. She told me I hadn't ruined it at all. She had a blast. She said my bully did cry for quite a long time after I left to the other guests. She said she was actually more worried about me. She said I seemed bothered when I left. My friend is an incredibly kind person. She's rarely upset about anything. I told her I was fine. I just felt bad and was angry. I explained to her that my bully had a really cruel nickname she would call me regularly over the 2 years we worked together. At the baby shower, when my friends called me my usual nickname and told me to come over for pictures, my bully said out loud she remembered me having a different nickname. I got angry and assumed my bully was referring to the nickname she used to call me to put me down. When I told my friend what the nickname was, she gasped. She said she understood why I was upset then. It was fine I got upset and said something. My friend said she had no idea my bully used to treat me so badly. She knew I had mentioned she had been mean in the past. I told her that I was not sure if I read the situation correctly. Maybe my bully was referring to something else. My bully did look genuinely shocked when I snapped back at her. I also told her I do think my bully has changed over the years. She does seem to be trying. I'm cordial when she is around, but I don't think I can ever go out of my way to try and be her friend. I'm honestly so busy that the little time I do have should be spent on the good friends I have now. I don't go out of my way to make new friends with kind people who reach out to me currently. It would be hard to force a friendship with someone who used to treat me and others so cruelly. My friend agreed. She told me she honestly only sees my bully once a year anyway. This surprised me. My bully considers my friend one of her best friends. I really do think my bully is lonely and has created the life she lives now. I think she knows that. I was so glad my friend and I talked. I do feel better. If my bully does reach out, which she has not, I'd be happy to chat with her. Honestly, I doubt she will. I do not think my bully is the kind of person who is capable of facing conflict and admitting to all people she has harmed them. That is fine. I'll continue to be kind if she is around, but I'm not going down my way to nurse her insecurities and emotions. And I've got to say, after finishing this story, I can believe how strong OP is in this story. An actual inspiration for me. And there was a couple of comments to OP where they were just talking to them, and OP responded to these comments as well. So I just want to cover those before we finish up as well. So Dozy Ninja says, you handled the situation very well and did the right thing standing up for yourself in the first place. Nothing to worry about at all. You clearly have a good friend in regards to the person who was having the baby shower, as she has been understanding and supportive. If it was the other way around, would you be angry at her? I doubt it. I think you may have regretted it more if you didn't say anything back. Well done again for standing up for yourself. And OP says, no, I wouldn't have, just surprised. It would have probably made me mad. I had a friend mistreat my other friend at a party I hosted once. She was drunk and she was talking poorly about her. I called her out and said she was being cruel. And Crystal Clear Water says, forgiveness is a weird thing. Your situation is like a splinter. You've grown over it for years, only to have some stupid interaction exasperate it, but now it's ready to be removed. Look at how well you are doing. This person is never going to understand what she did to you. She can apologize if she has the guts and you have the strength to listen. Doesn't mean you have to let her into your life. But I tell you what it will do. It will give you the opportunity to state your damage and leave it behind. She should know the pain she caused in your life, and she should live with seeing herself reflected in your experience. People are what they do, not their intentions. This one's a hoe, no quarter, and yes, that's forgiveness too. OP responded saying, I thought this too. I do wish she knew the extent. Another friend of mine who has since moved was bullied mercilessly by her. Much worse than I was, because the boy my bully liked had a crush on my friend. The things she did and said to her were 10 times worse than what she did to me. It's just odd because we were 21 and she was 33, a decade ago. I didn't even treat others like that in middle school. Did I miss that in the original post or something? She's 10 years older as well. Holy moly. But what do you guys make of this situation? I don't think there's any advice to give because I think OP's got it handled. But as always, when we cover bullying stories, you know what I'm like. I've been bullied a couple of times in my life. There's one that I've never spoken about, and I will speak about one day in the future. But it brought it up because OP was talking about like compound bullying and, you know, when it's happened a couple of times throughout your life. But the story that I haven't spoken about, this one particular bully did go on to make something of their life. They became a high-level sports athlete, and I'm talking top level here, and is a big promoter of mental health awareness now, which I absolutely cannot hate on promoting wellness and mental health. But the first time, I mean, this was a couple of years back, reading one of these stories, I thought, oh, I wonder how that person's doing. I checked and I saw mental health and wellness, and I was like, what? But anyway, that's a full story for another time. Now I'm going to turn this one to you guys. What do you guys make of OP's situation? Absolutely incredible from OP's side, I think. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. And just a huge thank you for spending your time with me today, getting involved in the stories. Your love, your support, and your time, as I always say, is absolutely incredible. I can never thank you enough for what you do, getting involved in the YouTube side of things, over on Twitter, a podcast, if that's your favorite format. Absolutely amazing. Thank you so much, and hopefully I will see you in the next one. Take care. Yeah, absolutely cheeky so-and-so. Much love.